understand how it goes down. AlumniRoundup.com, baby. Real legendary in the game. Putting it down, shutting down the city. Real big. Holla at your boy, Roundup Russie. One.
It's a crazy irony, man. I'm a researcher in the Center for Multicultural Education. The Center for Multicultural Education is in fucking Seattle, Washington. The University of Washington, right?
Well, you know, what that also brings up is you're all products of black schools and knowing the realities of black schools. I mean, what you just said about the best teachers, it also applies to the best athletes. It applies to the best facilities, everything like that, which means that on an overall generalizing basis, black schools are not getting the top resources. Do you send your children to a black school or not?
Yeah, and another thing has to do with the alumni. The schools have to start treating the students better. Dude, they treat the kids like shit, and then by the time the kids leave them, man, the kids don't want to get no motherfucking money back. So it's going to take, just like you said, us knowing, us building something like, what do they used to call the freedom, like the Freedom Riders did. You had somebody in every city. You had somebody at every college. You had somebody, brother. We all connected, and we know who are about the business of our people, and we hold those people accountable. So we know, man, if my money gets fucked up, I'm coming to see you. And as gangster as that sounds, that's how we're going to have to be about our people. We're going to have to start checking people because nobody's going to do right because right is the right thing to be. So in us saying that, not only do we have the black experience, that's a problem, we have the black experience in America during a recession. Wow.
So do you send your kids to a black college or not?
Huh?
Would you send your kids to a black college?
Man, I'm going to send my kids to the best college for them. I'm going to send my kids to Mississippi with their grandparents and make them go down there and get their ass kicked. But I'm going to allow my kids to make a decision and do the best thing that they possibly can do for themselves. Or what I may do is I may send them to a black college and then send them to a white grad school. I don't know.
What do you say, Reese?
Huh?
What do you say, Mo? What are you going to do?
I'm all about the match. You know what I mean? So, you know, I agree about the whole, you know, the concept that, you know, college, like I said, college is a match to be made, not a prize to be won, you know. So wherever, you know, wherever is best for my kids to go, I'm definitely going to push black, you know, they're going to grow up in a household where, you know, they're going to know their HBCUs and, you know, Uncle B, you know, and Uncle Bell went to, you know, Howard, and they're going to know, you know, so they're going to be inundated with, you know, the whole black college experience. So if nothing else, even if they don't go, they're going to know just how important HBCUs are.
What do you say, Val?
I don't know. Well, I'm going to say this one thing right here, is that most people don't realize, you know, that our generation, we can be considered and should be considered, at least in the political spectrum, the first born, first-class citizens of our generation, man. It's like prior to 1964, 65, man, our parents were second-class citizens. You couldn't vote. You couldn't do a whole lot of shit.
Right.
You know, you're born as the first free citizen with all the rights granted by the Constitution.
Right.
I chose to go to a black school because I wanted to be around black people. That was on me. You know, and I'm going to try to endear my children, you know, dare I have any, you know, with that experience of knowing where they come from and knowing exactly, you know, what it means to have that education, which isn't always defined by where you go in terms of an intellectual sense. You know, it could be like where you grow up, you know, who your friends are, you know, kind of what things you read. So across the board, education just can't be seen in an institutional sense. It shouldn't matter where you go because knowledge is everywhere. But I will say that, you know, if you're claiming to be African American, you know, on whatever level, then that's your filter that you see life through, for better, for worse. So wherever you go, you should always look upon things through that filter of your identity as an African American male, woman, you know, society, and so forth. So, you know, I won't never put anyone down for going to a white school, quote unquote, to get educated, because that's for you, wherever you want to go. You know, you have that right, quote unquote, as an American, to go where you want to go to get your education and so forth. but it should be under that filter of this is why I'm going here, to learn about myself, because, they have the resources, or, it doesn't matter where, it doesn't matter where.
Isn't that filter up to us to place it in our children? Because, based on how our parents in the environment, with me, I think what pushed me the most is that I think we all came up, if I'm correct, brand Nubian, we were sort of touched like during that era, and that era is what pushed me more than anything to be who I am. I never front on that. Between my mom and the type of music that I was listening to, because I was a straight hip-hop head. So, I didn't eat pork. I stopped eating pork in 11th grade in Mississippi because brand Nubian. So it's saying that my filter was set through the music, and I had a very, very intelligent mother. Like, my mom was magna cum laude, so she had me reading and doing stuff that most people wouldn't have me to. And my mother gave me the option. She said, you can go to any school you want to, just pick it. She said, you're not going to pick 2 schools, you pick 1, and I'm going to get you there. And she literally took me to that school and told them folks, me and my son will sit here until y'all get him in the room. So I think, based on how, again, what we said is up to the 5 or 4 people that's on the phone now. I think to set a presence for the groups of people that we affect, whether it's me through my music, when I get the opportunity to, you in the classroom, on the internet, whoever. Like, I think that filter is set up, and wherever we place our kids, whether it's a black college, and I don't mean our kids, our birth kids, but I mean any kids that we touch.
Right.
Because the sad fact is we probably have more influence on other folks' kids than we probably will on ours.
No, that's right.
Yeah, for me, when I was at HU, it was like, having the Moreland Spring on there, the research center there, it was like older heads on campus, older cats on campus was like, hey, man, you need to go to the Moreland Spring on, man. This is the greatest research center, on the planet. You're going to go in there, you're going to see cats from Russia, you're going to see cats from China, learning about American history, from an African-American perspective. You're going to see, it's like you need to go, check your resources. So I went there. It was like my professors had that class, Black Diaspora, man. I call that motherfucker Black Disaster because that shit kicked my ass. But, I learned so much about, like, our history beyond, yeah, you were at the bottom of a boat and you came here, and then you got your freedom 10 years ago. I learned so much more, Howard, from older cats who just pulled me aside, like, yeah, you need to check out this, you need to, blah, blah, you need to look at this, so... And the professors, that was like, for me, the first part of like academic research, looking back on it now, I'm doing that shit as a career, but that was the beginning, like, learn about yourself. And here's the place you can do it, and you at Howard, you can't do it nowhere else, So for me, my experience at Howard was like, man, that was when I really, that's when I learned it. I went to Howard. I saw Eyes on the. I know we all saw Eyes on the Prize. I'm sure you all watched that. I saw Stokely Carmichael on the steps at Douglas Hall. I was like, that's who I want to be. That's where I want to go.
Roundup Radio.